Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today in this video I would like to continue my previous video entitled Securing Sea Lines of Communication in Asia. So this is the last part of the video. In recent years, however, the US depends on oil from West Asia and by extensions, its reliance on the regional SLOC has rapidly diminished since the US fracking boom in the 2010s. The country had turned into a net exporter of oil products. Washington has since been contemplating a reductions in US security presence in the Persian Gulf. Some analysts are of the view that this is an unlikely scenario. After all, US allies are highly dependent on West Asian oil, with China's growing footprint in the Western Indian Ocean. Washington, optimists however, will likely continue deploying US warships in the region to protect its geopolitical interest. US allies and partners, however, have been preparing for the contingency of reduced US interest in the IOR. New Delhi, in particular, has stepped up its presence in the Indian Ocean to protect its interests in the area. As a key security provider and first responder in the region, India has sought a partnership with France, Australia, and Indonesia to hedge against the possibility of failing US interest in the affairs of the IOR. Chinese assertiveness in Asia has resulted in the revival of the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, or Quad, a multilateral group comprising India, the US, Japan, and Australia. After a decade-long hiatus, the four nations resumed the dialogue in November 2017 and have significantly expanded their security engagement since then. Yet the Indian Navy faced a dilemma. It is not an active player in the Persian Gulf and the South China Sea. India's security endeavors in the Western Indian Ocean and the Western Pacific are confined to anti-piracy patrols, protection of merchant shipping, and bilateral exercises with regional navies, while it joined the US-led Combined Maritime Forces as an associate partner in the Western Indian Ocean in August 2022. The IN's role is limited to countering non-traditional marine pollution and illegal fishing, crucially in the Eastern Indian Ocean and part of the Caribbean Sea. In the Arabian Sea, where the IN is a significant player, the China threat is yet to crystallize. India's security role in the regional SLOC remains mostly limited to the Eastern Indian Ocean. The European Union, too, have been advanced to define its security role in contested areas of the Indo-Pacific, despite the recent announcement of coordinated presence and maritime areas of interest. European focus in the Indian Ocean and the Pacific has been capacity building, providing legal assistance and training, maritime domain awareness, and operational coordination among select East African and archipelagic states. In 2020, the EU took the initiative a step forward by announcing an extension of the critical maritime routes in the wider Indian Ocean program to the Eastern Indian Ocean and Southeast Asia. EU officials even recognized the need for integrated law enforcement in contested region. The EU, however, remains reluctant to play an active role in the Persian Gulf and the South China Sea, Despite their support for a rule-based order in a free and open Indo-Pacific, European states largely prefer to stay out of Asia's contested littorals. France and the UK are the only two European countries to have maintained a modicum of military presence in the Western Pacific. Two multilateral groupings have contributed significantly to sea land security in the Western Pacific. The Regional Cooperation Agreement on Combating Piracy and Armed Robbery Against Ships in Asia, or CAAP, and the Malacca Strait Patrol Network. To their credit, ASEAN navies and Coast Guard have sought to integrate operation and enhance tactical coordination in the fight against piracy and transnational crime. Unfortunately, the benefits of cooperation do not extend to traditional areas of security. In particular, the challenge of an aggressive China in the Western Pacific. Regional Security Arrangement. Many had expected the Indian Ocean Naval Symposium, or IONS, and the Code of Unplanned Encounters at Sea, a 2014 agreement between 21 Indo-Pacific powers that set guidelines for unexpected encounter between naval ships and aircraft at sea, to impose tacit curbs on Chinese assertiveness in the littorals. Such hopes have been built, while the IONS has remained silent on Chinese aggression in the South China Sea. The choice appears powerless to counter Chinese power projection in the Western Pacific. The latter is a non-binding agreement and does not govern interaction between non-military agencies. Moreover, CUS does not apply to areas within 12 miles of dispute features in the SCS, leaving the Chinese Coast Guard and maritime militias free to posture and intimidate rivals. Similarly, Indian Ocean Rim Ocean countries have shown little appetite for countering China's Indian Ocean maneuvers. China is a dialogue partner of the IORA, and many member countries depend on Beijing for development aid, with decisions making an IORA premise on the principle of consensus. Member states have been reluctant to raise issues that are likely to generate controversy or impede regional cooperation efforts. Some Bay of Bengal states have been looking at giving IORA dialogue partners, including China, a stronger voice within the association. For its part, India has stressed the need for an inclusive regional security architecture. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Security and Growth for ALL approach emphasized considerations of the stakeholders' interest in maritime commons. India's aim to foster a climate of trust and transparency, respect for international maritime rules and norms by all countries. Peaceful maritime rules and norms by all countries, peaceful resolution of maritime security issues, and more security cooperation. Yet in the aftermath of the China-India conflict in Ladakh, New Delhi has seemed less sure about whether SAGAR and the Indo-Pacific Cooperative Framework include cooperation with China. India's strategic community remains convinced that China poses a threat to Indian security interests, though Beijing has so far refrained from directly challenging India in the Indian Ocean. So, that's all the article. Don't forget to watch the previous part, and also don't forget to like, comment, and also subscribe. Bye!